All right, now let's practice using our own editing checklist. When I look at this piece of writing, I see multiple errors, but it is helpful to check on each editing point one at a time rather than reading for all points at the same time. So, looking at my editing checklist, I notice that the first one we have is spelling. So I'm going to check for spelling first. I know that I can use my word wall and tricky words list to help me fix some of my spelling mistakes. I'm going to read the sentences out loud because sometimes that helps me notice mistakes that I have made. So the first sentence says, "What has dry, scaly skin, 4 legs, a bony skeleton, and breathers air through its lungs?" Wait a second. Breathers? That doesn't even sound like a word. So I know I made a spelling mistake there. I know that when I spell breathes, that the R is not needed because breathers is not a word. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross out the R and delete it from the word. Now, the rest of the sentence makes sense, so I am good on that first sentence for spelling. The second sentence is reptiles. Well, looking at reptiles, it is spelled correctly, so I don't need to do anything to this sentence. The next one says, "Many of us recognize lizards, snakes, turtles, alligators, and crocodiles as reptiles." Wait a second. I don't think snakes is a reptiles. I must have meant to put snakes here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert an E in order to show that this is supposed to be snakes rather than snacks. The rest of these are spelled correctly, so I can keep going. The next sentence says, "Did you know that reptiles cannot generate heat within their own bodies?" Well, first of all, I'm going to look at the word know. I recognize that this probably isn't spelled correctly, but I can't quite remember how to spell the word know. So I'm going to look at my word wall for help. So when I look at my word wall, I can go to K because that's how no start, or that's what the letter that no starts with. And I look down and look, right there's the word no, and it has a W at the end. So I know that I need to insert a W so I can spell it correctly. As I keep reading, I notice that I have the word there then, and I remember there is a homophone. I'm not sure if I used the correct form of there and just want to make sure. So I'm going to go to my tricky word list. When I go on my tricky words list, I see that there are 3 forms of there. And in my sentence, I know that I'm saying their own bodies as they're showing possession or ownership of the bodies. So I need to use that form of there. And when I look, the THEIR one means belonging to them. Well, that one makes more sense than the there that I have currently. So I'm going to cross out that there and write the correct form. The last sentence says, "When you see a lizard sunning itself, it's absorbing heat from the sun." I don't see any spelling mistakes there, so I think I'm good. So now I'm going to go back to my checklist. The first part says, "We corrected spelling on blank, blank, and blank." Well, I need to add what words we corrected spelling on, at least 3 of them. Well, I know we corrected spelling on snakes. We corrected it on no. And we corrected it on there. The next part says, "We checked the tricky word list, including homophones," which we definitely did. And the last one says, "Resources that helped us check spelling include," well, I know we used our word wall, and we used our tricky word list. Good job, guys. Now we have checked for spelling.